It's on the record.
Okay, so we're rolling. We are trying out something new this time on Five Heads Talk.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of a new setup. Wait, hold on, just
we're
let me check some technical stuff. Okay, we're good.
mhm. We're tackling art today.
Yeah, because we're
Whole of
both
art,
you know.
Yeah, we're both savants, professional painters.
Also, we watch
We
anime,
we dabble.
so
No, I mean the last time I drew something was an art class in high school,
you
I
know,
think.
I just might put up some photos of your drawings when you were a little kid,
Oh yeah. Yeah, well,
just
let's
to
try
show
not
how
to.
talented you were, right? Like
Right. Let's try
from
not to make
childhood.
this last too long, but do put those up so that our viewers know what they're dealing with.
Yeah, the kind
Um,
of savants.
so, when you're kind of not inside a subject like we are not for art,
Hmm.
you tend to kind of not be informed and you only see the surface, right? So here on my screen, I guess you're looking at it,
Yeah.
is something that I think when I hear art. So I really appreciate this particular painting. It's called the Falling Angel or something.
All right.
Um, and what I like about it is, it's biblical. It's got this good emotion. He's kind of looking like he's been just recently wronged. This is Lucifer,
Hmm.
just as he's being cast out of hell. And, it's cool.
There's
But
also a decent chunk
when
of
you see
nudity, if I may.
Yeah, 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 and some people are into that.
A lot of
But
people are
what I
into
want to
that.
say is, it seems like all of art is like this, and then whoop, there's the Renaissance, and then I guess this was during the Renaissance, but who cares?
Yeah.
Then there's the Renaissance, and then there's modern art and all this kind of stuff,
Can
and
I just interrupt you
everything
for a
seems.
second?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
like how we are trying to talk about art, and then you're like, "Yeah, well, I guess this was about around the Renaissance, but who cares?" You can tell that we are not gonna be that serious about this.
Yeah, we're not going to be very pedantic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But that's good. That's good, right? I mean, most people don't really care about pedantry.
yeah,
Okay. But what I mean is, when you think of art, this is kind of what you think, right?
yeah.
This is kind of this classical, biblical inspired, typical Western stuff.
Are we just gonna be
And
discussing paintings or different kinds of?
we're going to be discussing just the one painting that I'm going to show you right now
Oh,
after
okay,
this,
okay,
after I
okay.
finish my intro.
So,
So, what my point is, when you kind of get into art, apparently, you see that not everything is so bland and kind of poster boy art. And what I want to talk about today is this. Got so many tabs. Is
holy
this
shit!
this bad boy? It
This
was
is one
painted
painting, but
by.
it's a substantial painting, if
Yeah,
I.
it was painted also during the Renaissance, during the beginning,
But who cares?
in the 16th century or like the ending of the 15th by a Dutch painter called Hieronymus Bosch.
Hmm.
Hieronymus is such a fucking cool name, if I may just notice that.
Yeah, yeah.
And as you can see, he pays attention to detail. So before I tell you anything, I just want you to look at this and maybe like point out a few things that you see. I'll go ahead and zoom in and just scroll around a little bit so you can kind of.
Well, do you want me to point out the details I'm noticing, or like the
Yeah,
broader?
well, whatever you kind of look at and think you can appreciate here,
Well,
whatever you
first of all,
notice.
I just the first thing kind of stands out to me is how it's both. Uh, I want to say like realistic and not realistic at the same time because I can see that there are I don't know what those structures are, but there are clearly animals and wildlife and nature, people as well. But none
Right.
of it is exactly what they actually look like in real life. Um,
Yeah,
and then again, yeah, I just don't know what most of those structures are, but
you can see it clearly, right?
yeah,
The
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
screen sharing is fine.
I think the screen sharing is fine. There is no lag or anything. Then
Hmm.
uh, this is just a minor detail, but there's that one person that's just completely black. At least it looks like it from in the bottom left corner.
Yep, yep. There's gonna be more black people, but
Then some stuff is not exactly in proportion, which
right,
I'm talking about
like
the
the birds.
animals, the birds, some fruit.
Mhm.
Not sure what this circle jerk is, but
You know, this guy, he
it really I don't
it's
know how.
believed that. Mhm,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know how big this painting must be in order to for him to be able to draw so many things in
It's
such detail.
huge. It's really huge. It's called a triptych. This kind of style of painting.
Hmm.
You put it in a church. I mean, I couldn't believe that this actually is in a church,
Hmm.
but or was rather.
What
It's
kind
not
of church?
anymore.
Christian?
Um, yeah, I think Christian Orthodox or something.
Okay,
And it was a cult, an Orthodox cult or something.
that's
And
highly
well,
unorthodox.
he belonged. Yeah, he belonged to an Orthodox cult in in the Netherlands,
Okay.
but I am not sure if this was commissioned by someone. So maybe it was commissioned by Catholics.
Okay.
But it was very weird for me to hear that this is actually
Yeah, the
related to
church.
the
Yeah.
church.
It
Um,
looks nothing like what you would
and
expect.
I'll explain the motifs to you. I mean, I was surprised how heavily
Hmm.
it
And then
relies on
obviously,
Christianity.
sorry, well, obviously when well, I guess you didn't get to it yet, but on the right side there's like the it's not really a third of the painting because the middle part is like I guess twice as big as the left and right side.
Yeah, the middle part, yeah, it's basically like
But
four.
but the right side is definitely there's a decent bit of contrast when you look at
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there, I guess
So,
there's
is
gonna
there
be
anything in this middle picture that you kind of notice as a pattern? What would be on a global scale? What do you see here?
well can you just zoom out um, a bit
Yeah,
more
I can
because
zoom out completely if you want.
okay as a pattern hmm. I can't say I know I'm noticing a pattern when you look at the whole middle part but
Mhm.
if you look at only the bottom third I guess and the middle part
Yeah,
there's
yeah. This is called the foreground. You know, this is what's the focus
uh-huh.
of the piece, and then this is the middle ground, and this is the background. So you can see my cursor, right?
Yeah, sure. It's
Yeah, yeah. So this is the middle
highly
ground.
irritable.
Yeah. Yep. Loading, loading.
I don't know. I can't say I'm noticing any
Well, I'm
specific
not
pattern.
looking for something super profound, you know. I was
No,
expecting something
not
along the
even
lines
a
of
not
there's a
even a
lot of
pattern.
nudity, right? Like everyone's naked.
Oh, okay.
It's
I was thinking more like
something that's
a pattern in terms of stuff repeating in intervals.
right.
But
No, no. Yeah,
okay,
I just meant something that's, you know, common for the whole piece.
yeah, nudity. Okay,
And yeah, and then the final segment.
this one is definitely the weirdest because
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
you
this one
can
is
see some type
definitely
of
the
creatures
weirdest.
there, right?
Creatures, right?
There's
This
definitely
one is
not.
by far the least grounded in reality. Still has some
Yeah,
realistic elements, but definitely furthest off from. Okay, and then this, I don't know what this could represent. Well, I guess it kind of looks like a river, so it could be, what's it
yeah.
called? In Greek
See,
mythology,
it's frozen.
it's frozen. This one,
Yeah.
this one creature is
See,
ice
then
skating. Yeah.
it has. Yeah, it has skates.
Okay. I what?
I was surprised to see that ice skating existed in the 1500s.
Mm, yeah, I. Now that you mention it, I'm surprised as well. Oh, this is really beautiful. The way that he did the
Yeah,
lighting, or like the
this
rays and
freaking
stuff.
detail here. Yeah,
Yeah.
these rays,
This I feel like if you
amazing.
just like print screened this part on its own, it could be a painting,
Yeah,
like on
just
its
like
own.
this. This could be a background for a video game or
Yeah,
something.
it's just wonderful. Oh yeah, now I'm
Like
thinking
Lord
like
of the
a
Rings.
2D side-scrolling video game with this as a
Yeah, yeah.
background.
No, I mean that's the beauty of his pictures. Like this can also be just
On its
one
own,
frame.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
guess you
yeah.
could say it. You could say the same thing for a lot of parts because it's just so segmented, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, initially when I Googled his works for the first time, I thought this was one painting, and then
Mm-hmm.
like I don't
It
know.
was like a collage. You thought it was like a
Yeah,
collage.
yeah, and then I was, surprised to see that it's all on one. It's such a clusterfuck of
And now I'm
events.
just wondering, like, what's the
Yeah, okay. Well,
motif
let's
here?
start. So it's intended to start from the left.
Hmm.
The whole thing has biblical
I'm sorry.
connotations.
Is there any intended order in terms of like vertical orientation
Uh,
that you know of?
I don't believe that there is.
Okay.
It. I mean, mostly it's all just kind of speculative, just conjecture.
Oh, there is
But
not an
with
actual.
regards to vertical, but with regards to horizontal, it's very clearly left to right, and I'll explain why. Well, I can
Okay.
tell you now, actually. So
I'm
the
sorry.
leftmost part, yeah.
Is there a? Can I? Okay. Um. Again, this is just like first impressions, but could it be that left side is like I almost want to say like heaven, then middle part is earth, and then the right side is hell?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the whole deal.
Okay, okay. Now
That's the
you
shtick.
okay, you can keep going now.
Yeah, well, no, no, go ahead if you have any more speculations. That I think that's the most fun, seeing how
Um,
what you can kind of figure out from all
well,
this with,
now that
without
I
me
got
telling you.
the yeah, now that I got the hang
Do
of
you
it,
want to
like
see heaven?
yeah, I'm looking at heaven right
Actually,
now.
it's not necessarily heaven.
Garden of Eden.
The other parts are right. Yeah, this is the Garden of Eden. Yeah,
Hmm. So
and you
clearly
can
this is Adam
see,
and Eve then.
yeah, this is Adam and Eve, and this is God.
Yeah.
God is depicted in his like young appearance, like Jesus. It's
Hmm.
very unusual for this type of depiction of God in the Garden of Eden.
I'm also pretty sure it's unusual to even portray God as a in human form in the Garden of Eden because
Well,
he was just a
you
voice
have,
from what I know.
I guess so. God blesses Eve in this scene. It's a reference to a certain passage in the Bible where he blesses them to begin reproduction for the first
Hmm.
time.
Okay.
And you can see how Eve is kind of, a little bit
Floating.
ashamed and really looking sexy and stuff.
Yeah.
And Adam is kind of gazing at her,
He's ready to
ready to
reproduce.
bounce. This resolution is insane, by the way. The
Yeah.
painting that
Where did
I
you
downloaded,
or
I
what's the
downloaded
size?
something that's like 15 megabytes, I think, or something.
Well,
It's
I mean
bigger than a video.
for a JPEG or whatever this format is, it's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good.
it's really good. It's really good. Um, so this is kind of the beginning of lust, the beginning of sin.
Hmm.
Before this, there was no sin, everything was fine. And you can see how the fruit is kind of in the background, but there's this little tree here that's looming. It's kind of
Hmm.
an indication of Eve's descent into lust, like
Hmm.
the forbidden fruit and everything.
Is there any?
And here you've just got the animals, and I don't know if the animals in particular, if any of them are worth talking about, except for this one here, the owl. The owl was believed to represent
Okay.
Satan himself in the medieval times,
Why
like
owl?
lurking in the darkness.
Why owl? Why that animal in particular?
I don't know. I didn't research it so much. You can see a little bit of glass here, actually, which I just noticed now.
Yeah.
Um, and if you look at the other painting, the middle part, you'll see that glass. Well, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but glass is the only man-made thing. The rest, I guess, are just kind of some symmetrical rocks or something.
Hmm.
You couldn't really say that they're man-made or not, but glass is the only thing that's like obviously not natural,
Yeah.
made by man.
I mean,
And
I guess I don't know what these structures are, but I don't think they're intended to be natural. Like, what is it? A
yeah,
plant or is it a structure?
uh, these kind of fountains thingies.
Yeah.
They're very weird. This is a sort of symbol of reproduction. It's shaped like a uterus. It's got the opening of a vagina.
Hmm.
It's meant to like symbolize birth and reproduction as well.
Okay.
The whole this whole picture, symbolizes reproduction. Another thing that I've noticed is kind of interesting is how the animals are fairly homogenized. You've got the kind of horses and stuff here. You've got the birds here, and they're not completely segregated into packs, but they're much more mixed here. Like here, you've got birds and people
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to compare anything yet. I want to finish with this segment
Hey,
first.
there's an owl as well.
Yeah, yeah. So the owl, the presence of the owl is gonna be more and more obvious. But this is like, it's a small owl. It's just here. It's like
Inconspicuous.
this is the birth of sin, right?
Okay.
Because you've got this uterus representing reproduction, and then you've got the owl, Satan, just now arriving on Earth, basically, because God has now introduced reproduction to people, and
So the idea
this
is
whole
that reproduction
the
is
whole
what?
piece is yeah the whole piece is saying how lust is a bad thing and it's a sin, and it leads to all of this, and then all of this being the middle piece.
Hmm.
Do you have anything to say about the leftmost piece before we go to the middle piece?
Um, no, no, nothing in particular anymore.
Yeah, so the middle piece is basically the aftermath of lust, of the introduction of reproduction to humanity. And then you can, well, something that I noticed just now is how kind of peaceful and tranquil the left picture is. There's no
Yeah.
people. And then here, it's just people on top of each other, like
Yeah.
so much, so
So
much.
crowded, so
So
chaotic,
many people.
so
It's so crowded and chaotic. Yeah, it's like the result of reproduction,
yeah. Look at
overpopulation,
the
whatever.
right side with is it like two people on top of each other? Uh, right
Where are we looking?
above your cursor.
Over here?
No, zoom out a bit. Yeah, right there.
These two?
Yeah, the ones with apple.
Hey,
No, 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 no. Up,
over here.
up.
Over here.
Can't you see people on top
Over
of each
here.
other? All the way on the right.
There are so many people. Do you mean on the third?
Yeah, there, right there, right there. No, no, no. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Okay, well,
I'm thinking about there's like a guy laying on the ground with a bird on his foot, and then above him
yeah,
there's two people on top
yeah.
of each other.
The
Yeah.
one with the owl
Oh,
and the
it's an owl. I
blossom.
didn't even notice it. But yeah,
Yeah,
I was
it's an
talking about.
owl. It's an owl. So there's an owl there, an owl over here with a human. You can see with the owls how they have this heartless gaze.
Hmm. And
With
the
the other birds kind of have this gleam in their eye, right?
yeah,
Which doesn't make them look so menacing. But the owl's
not at
eyes
all.
look so empty. Look at that.
Yeah, 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 and you can tell that that could be a meme. You can tell that the parts where the owl appears are the most uh like hellish, I guess. Like
Well,
the most weird.
we'll get to that, I guess. But let me tell you, on this middle picture, I've found the most interpretations. This one over here, we've got what's believed to be Adam and Eve, and Adam is the only clothed person, well, the only person
Okay.
in clothes, right? We've got Eve's apple over here, um, and Eve is, been shut up. She has something in her mouth, like a gimp, basically.
Yeah, right.
um, and Adam is sort of shamefully pointing at her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Like she's the cause of all this.
yeah, she's the cause of all this. Like you can even see he's kind of gloating a little bit. It looks to me, at least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The whole pattern on this picture is fruit. There's a lot of fruit.
Yes.
You don't really see it until you start paying attention because there's so many naked people. But if you really do pay attention, you can see that every group of people has some fruit with them. And fruit is a symbol of lust and of transient earthly pleasure,
Yeah.
like which is bad. It's linked, of course, because of Eve
Yeah.
to this. And it's not necessarily biblical, it's more a product of misogyny, because although Eve eating fruit was a sin, it wasn't necessarily sexual, but then,
Yeah,
He
right.
kind of became sexual when people started talking about it, apparently.
We also talked about this in the
Um,
past. It could be also related to
yeah,
like evolutionary.
yeah. Well, I bet if Jordan Peterson came down here, he could say a lot of stuff about
Yeah,
this
I'm
fish.
wondering if yeah. I'm thinking right now.
It would be nice to hear his take. Yeah, maybe we have him as a guest next
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'll just call him up,
time.
see if he's
This
available.
is another interesting one. The clam with the pearls. Pearls are a symbol of chastity and innocence. And
Mm-hmm.
over here, they're falling out of the clam, and the clam
Where
is
does it?
inhabited by
Where
two
does that
people.
meaning of or like symbolism of clams originate from? Because I've never heard of a clam being a symbol of. Uh,
No, pearls. The pearls from
oh,
a
the pearl.
clam
Sorry,
are a
sorry. Yeah,
symbolism of chastity, and it's probably
because
because a
they're
clam
clean and
is
pure.
is much like a vagina. Once you open it, the pearls come out. So it's a
Ah,
symbol of virginity and
okay, okay,
purity. I
okay,
don't know. I just assume
okay.
that's it. You've got some more glass over here. A river or a lake. I'm not sure. There's a lake over here as well. There's water everywhere on
Right.
all three of them. It's a pattern. I
They also
especially
they
like
also
these
feel a
kind
little
of
bit.
drowning people. They look really ghastly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know any interpretation there.
Well, I guess
And
they
I
are.
also
I'm sorry. The people
yeah
that are a little bit more, as you said, ghastly or like pale and
yeah yeah
looking like dead people almost. They're usually in close proximity to the owl. So maybe like,
yeah I guess so.
and also the parts of the painting where the owl appears are a lot more dark and closer to
Yeah,
what
that's
hell
an
looks like.
interesting point. Yeah, the orange tent here is sort of the hub of homosexuality.
Okay.
You've got a lot of gays here, although this is a woman, I think, but most of them are men, and see they're kind of presenting their asses to
Yeah, the
each
one with
other.
the flowers coming out of his ass.
Yeah, and I believe there's
And the
a
reason why the
crescent
fish
somewhere.
is uh, i-
I
within the
really
gay
am not
community.
sure about the fish. There is something about the fish in general in this piece. So there's a one fish here. There's another fish over here,
Yeah, okay.
uh, and over here, and
All
it's
right.
even eating yet a fourth fish,
Yeah, so
and
maybe
so on.
maybe it's not related to
What's interesting about the fish is that
homosexuality
if you look really hard and examine all the water, you won't find any fish in the
in the
water.
water. Uh-huh.
There's only fish out of the water, and it's another symbol of the chaos of the painting.
Are there any fish in the left side in the water? I'm
Yes,
just wondering.
yes. The left side, we have some fish here, although they're pretty irrelevant, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, but there. Oh, look at this.
Yeah,
Can you go back to the?
there's actually a fish here. There's a narwhal or something, but it's not a real creature, I guess.
Yeah, can you go back to the
Yeah,
left part
coming
with the
back.
fish? It's actually showing how the creatures are getting out of like turning
Yeah,
from
it does look a little bit like
amphibian.
evolution, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
pretty interesting. Yeah. Some amphibians and reptiles.
pretty
This
cool.
one's pretty cool. I mean, it's so imaginative. It's
Do you know
crazy.
how much time he spent
Um,
painting this?
Look at this. Yeah, 10 years. It took him
Wow,
10 years,
wow,
approximately.
that's crazy. Imagine
Um,
having
l-
the what do you even call it? Like tenacity or uh,
yeah, I mean, I
endurance?
don't know how the hell do you make this 10 years and keep every part kind of good, you know?
Yeah, this is also like when you think about how uh, people operated in the past and how they operate now. Like
Yeah,
people
no
tend
one would
to.
have the well, you wouldn't get paid if you were doing this for 10 years. Like who would have the patience for it?
Right.
I didn't find an interpretation for this, but this guy seems to have clothes on. So I was
Mm-hmm.
surprised because I heard that this guy is Adam because he's the only one with the clothes and everything. And
Well,
then I see this guy. What
perhaps
I
there is
like about
no.
this scene is that everyone is kind of being gluttonous with the fruit.
Yeah,
They're really going ham on the strawberries or whatever these
yeah, and
are.
the guy on the
And
left
he's
found
he's
a
the
big
only
one.
one who doesn't want any, right? He looks kind of annoyed that he's with them,
I
and
was
plus
gonna
he's
point out
clothed.
maybe um, I don't know. Maybe the guy on the bottom right is actually Adam, but perhaps the other ones, if there are any other clothed people except for this one, are just like exceptions, right? Not everybody in society is.
This is the only. Well,
Blood.
yeah. I mean, of course, it doesn't have to be any biblical figure
Mm-hmm.
in particular, but I do like this kind of juxtaposition where
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
feeling as the outsider because he's not
yeah. Cast out, right?
indulging in
Mm-hmm.
the, yeah, not indulging.
What's the
Um,
adjective of lust? L-
I'm
Lustful?
not
I
sure.
don't know.
Lustful, yeah, lustful. Look, monkeys. I didn't see these guys. Guess they've
Monkey.
been exiled or something. Okay.
All right. Alright, there's another fish in the water, but again, kind of more resembling the thing on the left.
Yeah, you're right. You're
What are
right.
these?
Let me see if I have some
Like
more
sirens?
points for. Yeah, it looks like some sirens. It seems like this part is more mythical, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
for sure.
seeing as though how everyone is naked, this is actually the only sexual scene. Like,
Oh,
I guess the guy
he's touching her.
strumming her bean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the two on beneath them kissing.
Well, they're just kissing. This is like the only actual sexual.
What about the ones
Well,
in
from what
the?
I know, I mean, this guy is trying to suck his own penis, so it's quite arbitrary to decide what's
Right,
sexual and what's not.
right.
Um, there's also some depiction of the deadly sins in this circle.
Okay.
Um, I'm not really sure where they are. This one is supposed to be sloth because he's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
This one is supposed to be gluttony because he's eating the fish.
Which is a really big one.
This one is supposed to be pride. I don't know why.
Could you go
That's
back to
pride. I mean, I
the
guess.
one to the guy eating the fish for a moment,
Yeah.
and then a little bit to the
But
left of him?
this
Yeah, what's the this guy covered in? Is it? It's not clothes, is it? And it's two people, not
looks
one.
like a flower petal, right? It looks like a flower
Yeah, I
petal.
wonder what that means if there is any meaning to it. But okay, you can move on.
Yeah, I don't know. There's also some Islamic symbolism
Mm-hmm.
here, which is supposed to
Like the
denote
crescent
that,
moon.
Islam is bad. You've got this crescent over here.
Mm-hmm.
Moon crescents were always symbolizing Islam.
Okay.
This one here, um,
Okay.
apparently, you know. So yeah, this is kind of what sin looks like. That's the result of sin.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it for this part. And
Okay.
then we go to the consequences of sin, eternal damnation, you know. What's interesting about this whole piece is that all of the humans are still naked, but now they're not flaunting, they're kind of ashamed.
And
And
despair.
the demons are all clothed,
Okay.
they're all dressed. All the demons are dressed.
Okay.
Um, well, let's see.
Oh, there's a pig or whatever with the nuns.
Yeah, that's really interesting. This one, they're thinking that it has to do with
Whoa.
those. You know how the Catholic Church would sell? I'm not sure what the word is for that. They would sell these contracts that would get your deceased
S-
relatives to heaven. You remember
yeah, I
this?
remember that. Also, I think the same goes for like r- repenting your sins. The only way to do it is by paying, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
So this allegedly
Also,
has something to do with that, but I'm not
a
sure
lot of
exactly what.
armor, like knight armor.
Mm.
I don't know what
Yeah, there is a lot of medieval inspiration here. I
uh-huh.
mean, the Middle Ages.
Weapons.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It had just ended, you know. I mean, it's hard to say when exactly. So
Could you zoom in
it was
on
still
the
very inspiring.
how do I like see the rabbit?
Yep.
And then to the right of the rabbit, there is like green
This.
type of thing. Like this is um.
Are we
So
looking at
you're
this?
yeah. Where or like what time was this painting painted? Or in what year?
1495 to 1505.
Yeah, like look at the. It almost looks like a. What do you call those? Like helmets that people use nowadays, like when they go to space, like astronauts. Like a
Uh-huh,
helmet
yeah.
with
Well,
the.
so this is supposed to be a demon showing his ass to her, and he has a mirror on his ass. So
Is it a mirror
this
or just
whole
glass?
part, yeah, this whole part is perhaps the most detail-rich part.
Uh-huh.
This is supposed to be the Prince of Hell. I don't know if it's Lucifer himself
Okay.
or something
He's
sitting
sitting
It's
on a
also an
throne for
owl.
sure.
Has a
Uh-huh.
cauldron on its head. Really interesting. Eating people and shitting them out at the same time. Has some jars on its feet. And
Yeah.
then all these, well, not all, but some of the people around here, they have to do with the seven deadly sins.
Okay.
So
There's some money. Greed.
she's vain, you know. She's forced to look at herself forever
Uh-huh.
here, apparently, or something. And this is a frog. Frogs are
Oh.
symbols of demons as
I
well.
misunderstood
Um,
the what the is portrayed in the picture. I thought the thing now that you say it's a mirror and that you say that it's her reflection, I see what you meant. But I thought
yeah,
it's
you
a
thought it was more like a helmet, and
yeah, and
yeah,
there's
yeah, I
some other
understand.
person behind it. Okay, okay, okay. I see what
Yeah.
you're
Then this one here,
shitting money, coins.
excreting, yeah, shooting money out of his ass. He's supposed to be a greedy
Uh-huh.
pauper, a
Uh-huh.
beggar or whatever. And then this one is a glutton, and he's being forced to vomit the food he eats.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a sloth. He's
Again.
sleeping, right? And he's being awoken. Then this is another Islamic reference. You see
Yeah,
the
I see.
crescent moon, the hijabi women.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess they're the only clothed people in hell, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's
um,
almost like
another
he
another thing that gets you to hell is playing music, which is not for church. Like
okay.
back then, music wasn't really approved,
Okay.
which is interesting, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
And
I
this
didn't know
part,
about that.
to me, this part is so insane to me. You see, there's a guy, and he's got music written on his ass.
Yes?
Now, this is not just something he drew for fun. This is an actual composition. You can
Like
play
notes of
this.
an actual
People
composition?
people have played it. They call it um, Bosch's butt music or something, and
Oh,
you
but
can
wait,
actually play this.
he had someone
You
compose
can.
it for him and then he painted it on his on the it's not
I
an
don't know if he composed it himself or if he had someone compose it,
but
but yeah,
I'm
it's
saying
actual music.
it's not a composition that existed
It's
before.
original. Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
original made for this painting.
Okay. What about the
It's
ones in
just it's like
the book?
it's so insane to me that you have this huge ass art form that it's gonna take us like 2 hours to talk about. And then in this art form you
You just
have
zoom into
a
like
song. You have a
1% of
song
it.
on his
Yeah.
ass,
Yeah. Yeah.
which you could talk about for another 30 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy to me. And then this is like a choir of people singing along to
Mm-hmm.
this, and he's supposed to be a um, choir master.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these are some like this is a harp. I don't remember the name of this in English, and this is something called
Yeah, well,
a
it's a string instrument
hurdy-gurdy.
or whatever.
Yeah, hurdy-gurdy. This is not used
It's
anymore.
an
It's
actual
it's
name?
it's got a
Hurdy-gurdy?
yeah. It's got a very nice sound.
But
I
wait,
guess this is a triangle or something.
how do you play it? It's not a string
You
instrument. It's
play
not.
it. You play it by turning this thing around. It's very unique.
Oh, it's
It's
like
more like
a
a
what's it called? The box, the the
a
music
music
box.
box.
Yeah.
It's actually more like a piano mixed with a crossbow, if you ask me.
In terms of what looks.
Use
Well, you
in
only
terms
play
of
it by turning the thing.
in terms of the internal mechanism. No, you click on these as well.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. I see that.
It's very interesting. Then you've got the frozen river, which is funny. Like when hell freezes over, I think it's part of the Bible or some sort of prophecy that when hell freezes over, then Satan will come to earth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you've got this river freezing. this guy is called the Tree Man or something, and his body is an eggshell. Oh, also something that's interesting. Um, you know how everything is broken everywhere, like everything.
Segmented
The
into,
fruit
yeah.
is hollow, and like this egg is broken. There's
Yeah.
other broken eggs. This is the only unbroken egg in the painting, apparently, and it's in the dead center of the painting. Like it's the exact center.
It has to be for
And
a reason.
there's even like a perspective around it. Like there's perspective lines. Uh, if you would draw them, you would see like
Yeah, okay.
although there's a neck here, see
But
it's
it is
broken
broken.
and so
Yeah.
on. This
Okay,
one
that's
isn't.
interesting. Oh, the one in the middle isn't, but the one you just showed, the bigger
Yeah,
one, it
yeah,
is
yeah,
broken.
yeah. The other ones are broken. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's interesting. Wonder what that means. Why the egg?
I don't know. It's I guess the last unbroken thing. And you've got these ears. Oh, this is a bagpipe. Apparently, the people of those times thought that bagpipes looked like a penis and balls,
Mm-hmm.
so they didn't like bagpipes. Here's a flag of bagpipes.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
some hellish armies over here, and
Is
two
that a knife?
ears with a knife in
Oh,
between. It's supposed to represent like deafness to the word of God, to the
okay.
gospel.
Okay.
And this logo on the knife, it
Is this
was
the symbol
actually
for
the
letter
logo
B?
that he used when he produced knives of his own. He was a
Oh,
knife
because his
seller
name starts
as
with a B?
well. I mean people don't know if it's an M or a B. I guess it's probably a B because it starts with B, yeah. But it's funny, like he's even got his own merch in the painting.
Yeah. I mean,
And then
he.
this part is just like, war and death. People usually associated this hellish landscape with war. So, I mean,
Hmm.
that's pretty clear.
Yeah, you can
I
see
don't
that.
think, yeah, I didn't really miss anything, but on the scale of this hellish landscape, it often looks like hell is mocking Christianity. There's some scenes that kind of remind you of the crucifixion. I don't know, like this one, for example. You can see even the
Yeah, a
legs are
little bit. Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Or this woman, she's really made to look like Eve
Mm-hmm.
from the from here.
Yeah, it's pretty
Um,
similar.
there's better. This guy here carrying the trumpet or whatever. It looks a lot like carrying the
The
cross.
cross, right, right.
Yeah, yeah. So there is a lot of kind of
Except Jesus didn't have
making fun
anything
of
up
it.
his ass.
Well, not that we know of. Yeah.
All right.
Um, and then the last detail that I have prepared is this volcano part. But look at how fucking detailed this shit
Just can
is.
you zoom in
First of
again
all.
on the volcano? Because there is
Yeah,
like two
yeah,
figures on the branch,
yeah,
or
yeah. Exactly. So this is like good versus evil. That's what it's supposed to depict.
okay.
You've got some more over here, right? Like some angels versus devils or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I guess I haven't seen this as an interpretation, but I do like to think that you see this key here. It's kind of
Yes, I see it.
signifying that the gates of hell are open.
Okay.
Let's think of these as the gate of hell, for example. It seems like hell has, opened, and the minions of hell, the demons, are attacking the
Just gushing
world.
out. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like the end days or whatever. The what is it called? Judgment Day,
Mm-hmm.
when hell comes on earth. I guess
Ragnarok.
the angels are fighting. Yeah, Ragnarok. Angels are fighting it off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Brimstone
I
everywhere.
just like I don't know. Even in photography or in paintings, when someone makes a really good use of like lighting and
Yeah, the lighting
shadows
here
and
is
stuff,
so
it's so beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. This one is by far my favorite part of the painting, even though it's like the most depressing, I
And I
guess.
mean, like you look at this part and you look at this part, would you ever guess that this is part of the same
Same painting, yeah.
painting? It's
No
just
way.
so when I saw this clusterfuck of details, it reminded me of like an artistic version of Where's Waldo? Have you heard of that
Yeah, for sure. I know.
thing?
I know.
Yeah. I
Looking
used to
for a
have
little
one
guy.
of those books when I was a kid, and it's like, who cares about finding Waldo? You want to look at the world, what's going on there, and and then when I saw this, this is exactly what's fun about Where's Waldo. All these different interactions in the world and
Mm-hmm.
what's going on, and then thinking of how to interpret them. Although these are much more sophisticated, obviously, and you know, yeah, if you call this sophisticated.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of. Okay, I see. I mean, there's definitely a lot of things to interpret, a lot of
Oh yeah. Well, I
metaphors,
mean,
hidden
considering
meanings.
how many things can be interpreted and have been, it's reasonable to assume that nothing here is random. You know, that he really did think of everything and what to put. Like he didn't just sit down and say, "Okay, today I want to draw a fucking giraffe,"
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. He thought it
Like
through.
there's got to be a reason that he put that there. I want to know why there's these birds here. What the
Mm-hmm.
symbolism of birds is. You see,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of form a loop, right? These guys flying and then
And then the other one's
looping
coming in.
around over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really interesting what he does with the birds in this painting, and then in the next one, I mean, in the next segment, the birds are with the people. So all the birds and the people are intermingled, and the birds are, of large proportions, unnatural
Yeah.
proportions. I really want to know what he was thinking with the birds.
Yeah, sometimes you
I
just wish
think,
like you could go back in time and ask the person like what did you mean by this? What did you mean by that?
yeah,
Right?
yeah, and I think that's, I guess a lot of people like art for that specific reason, and I've never had that thought before looking at this, and I
Mm.
really like this painting because it makes me appreciate art in a whole new way.
Yeah.
It's this is not something that your art teacher in elementary school would let you draw. It's not like cookie cutter art.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is really, really original stuff that
Unique.
would not work. It would not work for almost anyone else. If I tried to draw something like this, it would look like shit. But
Yeah.
more importantly, it would just be something stupid. It would be pointless.
Yeah.
But the way he strings it around together, around some common symbols, but
Mm.
still looking pretty random on first sight, it's really interesting. You see this foot over here, even this is meant to represent some fungal disease that people had that was associated with demons, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
this looks
like
like a dildo.
anytime you zoom in on like a 1% of the photo, you could
Yeah,
you could ask yourself what's going on here? What's the meaning behind this? It's
yeah,
really cool.
exactly, exactly. There's not a single part that he was like, okay, I just need to fill this in with something. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. Like when you're at school and you're drawing an art, I don't know, a piece,
Piece of
whatever
art, yeah.
you want to call it, and you put something in the foreground, like some guy like Sveti Sava or whatever, and then you're like, okay, I'll draw a church in the
Just to
background.
fill this
Okay,
in,
that's
yeah.
good. Now, what the hell do I do with the 60% of my paper that's left over?
Yeah.
Draw a fucking sun that's smiling and shit like this.
Mm.
But this guy, he knows what to do with every inch. He probably didn't have enough of canvas for this.
For
He
everything he
wanted
wanted
more.
to put on it, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool. How did you
Well,
find this
I
painting
guess
even?
well, I was illuminated by a Russian connoisseur of art.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I don't. It's a. I always thought it. Um, there's a lot of people that can appreciate things like this a lot more than I can. I don't know why I don't
Yeah.
appreciate it as much as other people do, even though objectively I can tell that um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of hidden meaning and depth to it, and a lot of effort and work put into it. But
Right.
I can definitely discuss it, but I just never have the like internal feeling of appreciation for what
Well,
it is.
look, I appreciate this for a whole different reason than when I would appreciate an art piece the way I think regular people do. I appreciate the creativity here and the detail and just the fun of it.
Hmm.
It's like when you watch a Marvel movie and you don't like it because it's a good movie. You like it because it's a good Marvel movie.
Hmm.
It's got this kind of action and tying together and everything. That's what I mean, that's the way that I would describe liking this. I don't think it's some magnificent work of art that speaks to me on an emotional level.
Right.
I just like that it's so fun to look at and that you can know so many things in here. Like the things you need to know to appreciate this is there's so many of them, and I think that's cool. I mean, and the fact that it took him like 10 years instead of like an afternoon
Yeah.
of throwing colors at a canvas, it's pretty cool to me.
Yeah,
But it's
that's
not the
kind of the
same
same
way.
interpretation.
Like if I see a painting that's really emotional and dark, I usually like really dark paintings.
Yeah, so do I.
When I see something like, for example, the Scream, right? Or what is it called?
Yeah, I
Let
believe
me
it is called the
see.
Scream.
I really like this one actually, the one of Lucifer,
Hmm.
the Scream. Something in the shot. Yeah, the Scream. I really like this one. It really resonates with me, and it's very painful, and
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah,
And I
even in
can
that, I
appreciate
don't.
that.
Can you go back to the Scream?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but with the like you just gave an example of like the things we would draw in like elementary school. Those those things really do feel like uh, there is like 30% of the painting you intended to draw, and then everything else is just filling in the
Uh-huh.
blank spots, but not
Uh,
with the like
Not in a bad way.
yeah. With the painters that are like you know actual painters that dedicate their
Mhm.
whole life to it. It never feels like that. Like there's just like what's the sky and then I guess a lake or something in the background, but it doesn't feel like it's
Yeah.
just there for no
Yeah,
reason.
it's like the way he paints it, it's just barely a lake, right?
Yeah,
You can barely tell that it's a lake
yeah,
because of these boats, I guess, because of two boats that are barely
yeah,
there.
and because it's not it's clearly not the sky and it's not whatever the rest of the
Yeah.
ground around
Yeah.
it
I
is.
mean, it's just there's so little detail there,
Yeah,
and you compare it to this.
but
You can see
it's
where the lake is.
yeah. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about on this particular episode?
No, that's about it. Is
Okay,
there, yeah, there was something that I wanted to ask you now.
mhm.
Is there any art piece that you would say that you can appreciate?
I don't. I mean, the thing is, I never really looked at art
Hmm.
pieces in so much detail, but there is one that I just like on the surface level. Just I guess there's probably some things you could
Okay,
find
well,
in
tell
it.
me one. I'll look at it.
Um, uh, darn, I don't know if I can remember the name of it. I saw it in Paris when I was in Paris. It was actually a lot more impressive than Mona Lisa when I first saw it. But
Hmm.
it's gonna take me a minute to find it. Hold on. We don't have
Yeah,
Julian to
okay.
pull it
Well,
up.
you can put it in the posts, I guess.
No,
Doesn't
I'm gonna
matter.
find it right now, but it's
Mhm.
gonna take a minute. If okay, you can search. I just found it. You can search heaven and hell, I guess, and then but type painting or whatever.
Yeah.
Is it even called? Oh no, it's not called. Sorry, it's not called heaven and hell. I just found a different an actual name. Pandemonium.
Oh.
Yeah, there you
Oh
go.
wow. Yeah, it's pretty dark.
And it's really
This is the kind of stuff that I like.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really huge. Like you can't get the same impression from just looking at the painting or sorry, the picture because the actual
Right.
painting is like really huge and when you look at
Yeah. When you see it in real life,
yeah,
all around you, right?
yeah. So again,
Yeah, I like it.
I'm sure there could be some meaning behind stuff in it, some
Mhm.
motifs, but I didn't look
Oh
like
yeah,
research
no, of
about it.
course there's meaning, but I mean it just has this awe and sort of visual presence.
Yeah, it's like oh,
Yeah, it's pretty scary. It's something I would like to have in my living room or something.
yeah, and you know the size of the actual painting like with how big it is, it could probably fit on half of one's
One
wall.
wall. Yeah,
It
it's
depends on
pretty
how big it
amazing.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I like it.
maybe we could.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I fuck with. It's pretty nice.
All right. I
But
was
yeah, I
just.
just want to stress that this Bosch painting is completely. a different way to appreciate art. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
compared to this just soul aesthetic and feeling you get from it.
Yeah.
This is more like confusion and
Trying to
studying the
decipher.
painting and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
more like a puzzle than a
It's more
painting.
like a little puzzle. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
I
this
just find
this was
that interesting.
definitely an actual five head talk episode. Um,
Yeah.
some
Next time we're getting Jordan Peterson, so stay tuned.
yeah. After that, we're probably gonna get, I don't know, Sir Roger Penrose talks on physics.
Sounds good.
We'll see.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but this is a new type of format we're trying to sort of investigate or look into. Is one of us prepares something that they know a thing or two about, and then the other one is sort of just like reacting or
So we
learning.
could do like five head explains, huh?
Yeah, five head lessons.
Hmm.
So one of the, I guess, topics or like genres that we're also thinking about is like unsolved mysteries. We're probably gonna do one episode on that next week or the week after that. So stay tuned.
Yeah,
Um,
leave it in the comments below with which unsolved mystery we
yeah,
should do.
we're that one person you're watching our videos. We're talking to you.
We're gonna be scouring the comments and picking the best one.
Yeah. All right.
The comment section is gonna be like this painting, I'm sure. Full of detail and
Right.
interpretation.
So, guess that was today's episode. How long was it? Let me check. Okay, almost an hour. That's pretty good.
Decent
Decent for
length,
an episode.
not
Yeah,
too long.
definitely shorter than the. Is that what she said? All right. If there is nothing else you would like to add, I guess we're signing
Yeah,
off.
signing off. Stop
All right.
rolling.